Hey y'all, this is Jamira Terrell with another video poem cover, and this is entitled Bitter. Yes, it is based on a true story. So let me tell y'all what happened. It all started back when I was a young girl, teenage years. You know those years where you think you know everything, but you really don't know shit? I met this boy, right? He was so different, like in his own weird kind of way, but I liked him. I was a virgin at the time, but after a while, after my feelings grew, I knew that he was the one that I wanted to take it. But we never got a chance to play hide and go get it. My mama wasn't having it, and so sneaking became hard. And somewhere in between, my little brother became a snitch. So we ended up parting ways despite of how we felt about each other. I gave the box up to someone else, and of course, he moved on to the next bitch. Some years went by, and we both moved on, never forgetting about each other though. Stayed in touch a few times, talked probably every few years, but nothing too lengthy. We ended up touching base again through a mutual friend, but I can still remember that day at the mall when you were with her and you told me that y'all were having a baby. Here's the weird and crazy part. I had already had children, a couple of them, so I honestly didn't understand why it bothered and hurt me so much. Part of the reason was she was white, so it made me wonder, why was I too dark? Was I too ghetto? Why wasn't I good enough? Now, I'm far from a racist. I love the hell out of some white folk, so I didn't understand the reason behind the feeling of betrayal and anger. I just know that it touched me deep, so deep that whenever I saw a black man with a white woman, I caught myself rolling my eyes at her. It didn't make things any better that another ex of mine left me for a white woman too. For a while, I had so much hate inside of me. I promise you, I didn't understand. However, I blamed you. But moving forward, because this poem isn't at all about race, even though we live in a world where it keeps resurfacing. On the outside, I was happy for him, but on the inside, I was angry. I was bitter. I secretly wished and hoped that he didn't love her enough to give her a ring. A few more years flew by, and I finally had my chance. Should be happy, right? No, because when I returned to him severely broken. I had been through some shit, like some deep shit, and pain had changed me and turned me into somebody that I didn't recognize. Inside, I knew that I wasn't okay. I wasn't right. I knew I had some issues that I should have fixed within myself before I invited you over my house that night. But my dumb, hard headed ass allowed you to come over anyway with the fantasy that we were going to pick up where we left off, like when we were kids. It was so easy for me to fall in love with you again, and I completely forgot about the demons that I was carrying within. You were the closest thing that I had next to perfect, and everybody loved him. I mean, he was everything that I prayed for. Worshipped the ground that I walked on. He never had a lock on his phone. He took care of everything, supported me to the fullest, and every time he stepped through my door, I'm sorry, and he made me feel warm every time he stepped through my door. I mean, y'all, this man treated me so freaking good. He loved my children as if they shared the same blood, and he made me come second to them. He rubbed my feet, kissed my forehead, he prayed for me, he let me live, never questioned me, and then he told me, he promised me that he was gonna love me to the end. The relationship we had made me feel like something out of a movie. I was actually finally happy. Y'all should have seen me writing long paragraphs while watching him sleep. I would even cry trying to explain how deep the love I have for him went. He was really a good man, one of the best that I've ever had in my life. I mean, he had his flaws, but who don't? So we get to the point in our relationship where we wanted to make that move and get married. I lost him before, and I was never ever letting him go again. It wasn't a romantic proposal, but that's okay, as long as I had his last name. While planning our future, that demon inside of me began to arise. I thought that bitch was dead. Nope. She was simply hiding behind the love that I saw. I wasn't in the right state of mind where I could truly love him, and I knew it, yet I still pushed ahead. I started to become jealous. I even got jealous that he put my children before me. The shit was crazy. Isn't that how we always wanted shit to be? I pushed away from him. I stayed in the streets more than I stayed home. I stayed out all hours of the night. One Saturday, I left to go out and didn't return until 9:39 Sunday morning. Of course, I didn't answer my phone. Surprisingly, he didn't yell or curse at me. He just told me to come to bed and get some rest, and then he held me and he rocked me until I fell asleep. I remember one time I lost $1,700 at the casino, and that was all the money that we had. He was upset, but more so hurt because he said now if the kids asked him for something, he couldn't deliver, and it made him feel less of a man. I stopped talking to him. I stopped confiding in him. It went from me wanting to marry him because I loved him to me being obsessed with me just being married. As soon as I soon resented him. Secretly, I wanted him to pay for something. What exactly? I don't know. Maybe it was for the love child that she carried. I was bitter on the inside and I wasn't aware of it. The shit started eating at me every day. It turned physical, y'all. I'm ashamed to say this part, but more than often I would black his eyes or I would cause harm to him because of some of the shit that he would say. Those who know me, like really know me, know that I was in an abusive relationship. So for me to become the abuser killed me on the inside. To make him feel like I once did was beyond wrong, and there was a war going on inside of me, and I was losing it to the demons that I was trying so hard to hide. I was so damaged within myself, and I never gave myself time to heal from my past. Hurt people hurt people. I hurt someone who loved me and treated me so much better than the last. I made him pay for things that he didn't do. I looked past his tears and I watched this man hurt. When I discussed it with other people, I convinced them and myself that I was the victim, and I allowed them to drag his name to the dirt. Ladies and gentlemen, we seriously have to give ourselves time to heal from our past. We have to learn to love ourselves again so when God sends our mate, things will be magical as they should be. I feel so bad and so hurt that I hurt this man and possibly turned him into a cold hearted person. I forced him to feel the agony that was once given to me. I stood and I told the world to stop the physical abuse against women, all while I tore down the character of a once strong black man. To my ex, baby, I apologize for everything I've done to you and how I made you feel. You were enough. You were deserving. You did matter. You are a good father. I wanted to love you, baby. I promise you I did, but I couldn't because I truly didn't love myself. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still healing. However, I'm hurting because I didn't just lose my man, I lost my friend. I pray that you are able to heal from my extremely toxic ways, and I pray that one day you can forgive me. The end. I please forgive me for all of the mess ups. I tried to hurry up and run through that before it cut off. Um, Again, that is called bitter. Don't judge me, judge your mom. Listen with your heart and not your ears. And to my ex, baby, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope you find it in your heart that you ever forgive me. Please, I'm so sorry, and I completely understand if you don't never want to talk to me again. I finally have taken responsibility for my own actions. I just hate that I had to hurt you to get here. This is Jamira Terrell, and I'm signing out.